Welcome to Fairy Tales You Shouldn't Read, the stories that whisper something familiar, then lead you somewhere strange. Here, heroes don't always make the right choice. Goodness gets tired, and magic comes with a twist. Get comfortable. It's time to begin. The tale you shouldn't read, The Boy Who Became a Robot. At first, Yarrick was just a regular boy. Well, not completely regular, but like any other kid. He jumped in puddles even when his mom told him not to. Sometimes he forgot to do his homework but always found an excuse. He hated semolina porridge and secretly fed it to the cat under the table. One time, he even drew a rocket on the wallpaper and wrote, "This is a dog," above it. In short, he was normal. But one day, his parents decided that being normal wasn't enough. "Yarrick, you're such a smart boy," his mom said. "You can try a little harder, can't you?" "Yarrick, you're such a polite boy," his dad added. "Polite boys don't argue." Yarrick figured that they probably knew best, so he started trying harder. He stopped jumping in puddles. He always did his homework on time. He even ate the semolina porridge, though the cat looked at him with deep sympathy. His parents were thrilled. "Now we have the perfect child," they proudly told their neighbours. But they didn't notice that along with this newfound perfection, Yarrick was losing something very important. At first, nobody noticed anything unusual. His mum and dad were just so proud. Yarrick is such a smart boy. Other kids throw tantrums, but ours is perfect. "Yarrick, you're not like those troublemakers, right?" And Yarrick tried to live up to their expectations. He prioritized good grades over his own happiness. He learned to read his parents' expressions and always react correctly. He never said, "I don't want to," or "I won't," because he knew that would disappoint his mum. One evening, when he tried to tell her he was too tired to do his homework, she simply smiled and said, "Well, you're a responsible boy, not like those lazy kids, right?" Yarrick silently went back to his notebook. Click. A few days later, after making a tiny mistake in his math homework, his dad said, "Oh, you're just a bit distracted. Not like those kids who don't understand anything at all, right?" Yarrick rewrote everything without even wondering if the mistake mattered. Click. And one night, when he couldn't sleep because he was worried about a test, he quietly went to his mom and said, "I'm scared. What if I fail?" His mom smiled warmly. "Oh, but you never fail. You're our best boy, not like those kids who doubt themselves, right?" Yarrick nodded. He went back to bed and pulled the blanket over himself. But he no longer knew if he was actually scared or if he was just supposed to be confident. Click. Now Yarrick was perfect. He always did what was expected. He never argued. He never talked about his feelings because emotions were unnecessary. His parents didn't notice at first. "Oh, how lucky we are. No problems at all," his mom bragged to a friend. "We never have to ask him twice," his dad added. Yarrick smiled in response. He knew that this was exactly what they wanted. But every time he did, something inside him tightened, like a machine that never stops running. Click. Emotions, not efficient. One day at school, a classmate accidentally stepped on his foot. "Oh, sorry," Yarrick wanted to say. "Ow! That hurt. Watch where you're going." But his lips automatically responded, "It's fine." The next day, some boys invited him to play soccer after school. For a moment, he felt excitement. How long had it been since he did something just for fun, not because he had to? But before he could answer, his voice automatically said, "I need to finish my homework first," even though his homework was already done. Click. A sudden system failure. His parents started paying closer attention. One day, his mom asked, "Yarrick, you've always loved ice cream. Which one do you want, chocolate or vanilla?" Yarrick froze. Processing request. Loading response. A long pause. "I don't mind." "What do you mean you don't mind? Which one do you like more?" "If I need chocolate, I'll eat chocolate. If I need vanilla, I'll eat vanilla." Click. His dad tried a different approach. "Son, what was the most interesting thing at school today?" Processing information. Another pause. "I don't know. Everything was fine." And this time, it didn't even sound like a real answer. It sounded like a programmed response he repeated because he knew it was the right thing to say. His mom and dad exchanged a worried glance. They had always been proud of his obedience, but only now did they realize that their son wasn't really living. He was just functioning. Jarek didn't argue, didn't choose, didn't make mistakes, didn't feel happy, didn't feel sad. He simply did what was expected. And that wasn't a child. That was a machine, programmed to give the right answers. His mom covered her mouth with her hands. His dad nervously rubbed his face. What have we done? Jarek looked at them and, as always, calmly, emotionlessly, said, I just want to be what you need me to be. And his parents felt a chill run down their spines. His parents sat at the table staring at Jarek. Jarek stared back. Everything was polite. Everything was correct. Everything was terrible. His mum whispered, We did something wrong. His dad sighed. No, it makes sense. We wanted him to be obedient. He became obedient. We wanted no tantrums. He doesn't have tantrums. We got exactly what we wanted. But this isn't him. Then who is it? His mom looked at her son. Jarek, have you ever done something just because you wanted to? What is the point of an action without practical purpose? His parents looked at each other in horror. And then his mom picked up a cake and threw it at his dad. Jarek froze. His dad froze. A chunk of frosting slowly slid down his cheek. And then his dad took another piece of cake and threw it back. Jarek's brain glitched. Error. No logical justification. For the first time in a long time, Jarek laughed. And just like that, he was back. His parents smiled. Jarek, we want you to listen to us, but not blindly. Not because you have to, but because you decide it's the right thing to do. And most importantly, his dad added, do what makes you happy. Jarek thought for a moment, then he smiled. Can I have another slice of cake? But without throwing it. His parents laughed. And long live the freedom to choose, but maybe without daily cake battles. That's it for today. The tale was a little too strange, a little too close to the truth. But you know, every story dreams of being read. And maybe you were meant to hear this one. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the podcast, and drop a comment. Somewhere out there, another story is waiting. And it can't wait to be heard.